It's the weekly show about rAVe with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's rAVe TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary. Steph and Gary.
Hey, Steph.
Hey, Gary. Happy
you?
Wednesday. How are you? I am, I'm alive and I'm here and I'm
actually glad you're alive because I was a little concerned what happened. You texted me this, you got to see this, and then there was silence, and then again you text me the same thing, you got to see this, silence, and I was like, have you been abducted, kidnapped? What happened? And then I didn't see.
Yes. So here's the story. I went to Home Goods with Kelsey last night after work, and I go to Home Goods constantly. It's like a safe space for me. I feel good when I'm in there, and so Home Goods gets just like a collection of random stuff, right? Because it's like a TJ Maxx store. So we are walking and we like stop at like one of the shelves and we see this like Ralph McQuarrie complete Star Wars artwork volumes of books. This is so heavy. I think this is like 20 pounds. And like we stop and we're like, oh my gosh, we have to send a picture of this to Gary. This is so cool. So we send you a picture, but I have really bad service in this Home Goods. So I guess it had just like tried to like send it to you and it like double sent. So I was like, oh, it's not working. Like Kelsey, try to send it from your phone. And so she did. But so like, I guess you're just getting like multiple texts from both of us. And then I get like a flood of texts from you that are like, are you okay? Are you abducted? Like, what's going on? What's wrong with you? And I'm like, nothing. Like, what are you talking about? So, I finally get the picture to you and we ended up picking it up for you, but we did not get abducted in the Home Goods. It was just
I am honored that you thought about me while standing in Home Goods, first of all. And second of all, especially the fact that you got a Star Wars thing. As everyone knows, I'm obsessed with Star Wars. But right now I'm obsessed with my new shirt. Love the shirt.
The Study with Steph shirts are in. So everyone who has signed up to get one or who has asked for one, those will be going out to you. I'm also sending them to the people who have been on the show with me so far. So there's going to be, hopefully, like there will be a few different Study with Steph shirts people are wearing like around InfoComm. I would love to see that. But yeah, I'm really happy that they're in. I'm ready to see people start wearing them. I am excited.
Yeah, I'm honored to be the first one to get to wear one. I love it. I love wearing Steph's face all the time. You're going to love it. All you have to do is that link has been dropped in, if you're online, all the places that you're watching. Speaking of which, we are coming to you live. This is rAVe TV. This is episode 15, Steph, week 15.
Yes.
We've been doing this live for 15 straight weeks. And we're coming to you live at ravepubs.com. We're coming to you live on Instagram. We're coming to you live on Facebook. We're coming to you live on Twitter. And we're also coming to you live on LinkedIn. So if you're on any of those platforms, if you want to talk to us, you want us to address a question, answer a question, you just want to say hello, we know that we got those regulars that are listening to us that say hello. We want to hear from everyone. But just drop a message into the chat area. I know a lot of you are on vacation, but maybe watching this, you wouldn't miss this. They'd be watching this on vacation, wouldn't they, Steph? They wouldn't they watch this? Yeah, of course.
I mean, so you and I still show up and do it when we're on vacation.
That's right. So, I was on vacation last week. So drop that message in the chat, in the comment area on LinkedIn or Facebook or wherever you are. Drop the message in there, and that way we are, we can hear from you and we know what's going on and we want to know what's going on. So anyway, Steffi, how's it going?
Good. Let's talk about, so we have a few like launch events coming up. So let's go ahead and throw that graphic up and we can talk about those. We have an event with the Next Gen event coming up, I believe it is. And then we have a launch and learn, I believe it is, with Screenbeam, which is exciting. So you can see those. You can see the dates there. So both of those are going to be exciting. USAV is going to be like a few days long event. Is that right, Gary?
Yeah, it's actually a 3-day event. This is Next Gen. This is a great event for you. Anyone can join it. You don't have to be a member of USAV to join it. You can go register at launch.com, lavnch.com. If you don't know who USAV is, I want the term buying group is probably doesn't describe them well, because they put on their own events. They have their own education. They have CTS certified education. They're very much into helping companies understand business trends and tech trends to grow. And this is a free event they're putting on. Anyone can join. You don't have to be a USAV member. So if you're an integrator, end user, even you want to join the event, just go to launch.com, LAVNCH, or click on the link that was just dropped into the message into all the different messaging platforms that you're watching us on, and you can register for that. And of course, I'm excited about ScreenBeam, because ScreenBeam is going to introduce a brand new feature not available on any wireless sending product on our show live sometime in the next month. We'll get but you just go to launch.com. You can see it when it's official. We'll let you know. We don't have the exact date yet, but it'll be official any day now.
Yeah, agreed. We have a few people telling us hi. Sue says she's a first-time viewer. Hello, Sue. Thank you for joining us. And Abdul, Abdul Wahid, he has a CTS, which is exciting. He is saying hi all the way from India. So we've got like international people watching this now.
I know Abdul. He's a consultant. I know Abdul. He's a consultant.
Oh, yeah.
He's a great guy. He's kind of a regular. Karen, we welcome you to. We're going to welcome Karen in just a second, but Sue Adams, want to welcome you back as a regular viewer of ours, and we appreciate all the support from all of you out there. Speaking of Karen, let's talk about what we're about to talk about. We teased this last week that we have a partner.
We did
in the future
and you can see their logo right down there.
Yeah, oh, that's right. Yeah, let's see. It's down there in the corner here. Yeah. So you can see Legrand is one of our partners for rAVe TV in the future, and I asked Karen Smith to come join us today and talk about Legrand a little bit. So Karen, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for joining us. You're coming to us live from Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Steph's in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Listen, we've been reading all the news about this heat wave. Are you still experiencing it there in Minneapolis?
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing like the West Coast, but yeah, it's hot for us Minnesotans, that's for sure, and not a lot of rain, which has been unfortunate. But yeah, it's still hot for us.
Oh, I'm hoping it clears up before the end of the first week of September, because I'm heading there, because I've heard nothing but these amazing stories about the state fair in Minneapolis and Minnesota. And I am going because I am a state fair junkie. I'm going to Minnesota just to go to the state fair right after CEDIA. Is it as good as they say it is?
It is. It is. You're going to have lots of food on a stick. For sure. It's all good. It's hot. There's a lot of people. There's good people watching, but it's all about the food at the state fair.
Gary, I didn't know you were a state fair junkie. That is so weird.
Well, I have paid for our people to go. The whole company goes to the North Carolina State Fair every year, Steph. How can I not be a junkie, right? I mean, come on.
That's true.
I'm not into all the foods and stuff, but I'm into the people watching and the experience. But listen,
that's true.
We think Legrand is a perfect partner for us because of all the brands. I mean, think about it. There's not anyone watching this broadcast that doesn't buy something from your company, Karen. Your brands cover every segment of the market. You're like the glue of the glue companies.
I'll take that. Yeah. I mean, definitely, we're part of the backbone, right? And in many cases it's behind the scenes, right? So if we're doing our job, you may not even know we're there. In many cases, it's not quite bravado, but it's a lot of the pieces of the puzzle together.
Yeah, and if you look at the typical room, everything from the camera to the thing that's mounting the projector and displays in the background, the control, the light. I mean, everything in that room could potentially have an element or one of the Legrand brands, the cabling to the projector and the displays. I mean, you are a perfect glue and of course the screens. I mean, who can miss the fact that you're also have a couple of big screen brands as well. Talk about sort of kind of what culturally, kind of what makes Legrand, because you've got all these brands that you put together and you've done it in an amazingly successful way.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think one of the things that we have tried to do is to keep those brands forward. We know the history of those brands. We know the relationships people have with them. We wanted to keep that forward. So, while Legrand is the umbrella, and we are all part of one big family, we don't lose the personality and the culture of what each of those brands are and what they stand for, and the kind of innovation that they're all known for. It's been something we've really put a lot of effort into.
Yeah, well, obviously, I've got a lot of your products in my company and in my house over the years because I've got a daylight screen. I've got I'm pretty sure all my monitors and TVs around my house are mounted with Chief mounts or Sanus mounts for sure. Yeah. I've got your networking gear now. I mean, you cover a big gambit. Now, obviously, you're going to be at well, I should ask you about CEDIA. We're going to do a story on CEDIA in just a minute. Mm-hmm. I know you're going to be at InfoComm, but I'm guessing you're going to be at CEDIA as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah, and so you obviously been a big support. In fact, I mean, I can't see there's very few brands that are bigger supporters of yours at trade shows. When you walk in, usually it's entrance to the show, Legrand. Like your brands are right there at the entrance of every major show, and so it's hard to miss you. But at the same time, you cover so many different products, and some of the brands do cover both residential and commercial, right?
Right. Yeah. There's definitely, the broader group, and then sort of in the Venn diagram, there is sort of a few of them that go both resi and commercial. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that as we become more and more network centric, I think some of the brands that are even, for example, there's some of the brands that you have that you started only in the residential side that I think will come over to the commercial side. That's just my guess. I don't have any inside knowledge there. But I think with CEDIA and InfoComm this year being so close together for the first time ever, I think we're going to see a lot of those and let's be honest. Let's face it too. A lot of the consumer brands, the residential companies, are getting into commercial business, right? Because they have the relationship with the C-suite executives. They just did their house, and the person's like, "Hey, can you do my conference room?" And vice versa. So I suspect there's a lot of sort of shifting and changing going on in your company, like there is in the industry, to accommodate the high-end residential and the commercial market.
Yeah, that sort of resi-mercial or light commercial middle section. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's always been there, but I think it has been growing and probably grew a lot more than normal even last year with just the state of the pandemic. But for sure, and Luxel networking, I think is what you're getting at there with that. And for sure, we already are selling some of that into the commercial markets, especially with the connection through Vadio.
Yeah, and I was going to bring up Vadio. So what a year Vadio's logically had to have had, because everything is on camera. Like no one's building a room without a camera nowadays. And obviously Vadio started. In fact, I think I could be wrong here, but I believe Vadio invented this USB craze of connectivity of cameras and devices. I remember that campaign from years and years and years ago. And we have Vadio cameras all over our classrooms at the University of North Carolina. So this had to have been an amazing year for Vadio.
Yeah, no, and you're right. You remember that correctly. And it was. We had to basically rip out a bunch of office space and add more manufacturing floor in the building just to sort of keep up with the demand that happened last year. So it was a crazy year for Vadio, but it was a good year.
Yeah, and I mean, anyone that would not say this last year has been a crazy year would not be telling the truth. So I think that's an understatement. But your team is well suited to sort of accommodate. I mean, one thing I talked to Lori about months ago was Legrand doesn't have to pivot. Legrand is basically fluid. You're kind of a company that is fluid. It's looking at all the trends, and you don't necessarily have to pivot. You just have to shift resources, which makes it a little bit easier. As you said, you tore out office space to add more manufacturing space, whereas a lot of companies during the pandemic had to pivot. So I think that is a lot of credit due to your leadership and the team that you have surrounded yourself with. We're excited to have you as a partner for rAVe TV. We will announce our other partner for rAVe TV next week. But one of the cool things that we're going to do with Karen's team is we're going to be filling that spot with education. So one of the reasons I think, Karen, correct me if I'm wrong, that you were interested in this partnership was that we want this segment to focus on education. So we're going to bring on some of your expertise and your experts in your organization to teach us stuff like Joe Cornwall teaching us about USB technology and learning about the different screen technologies that are out there now and different mounting methodologies that might exist. So that's one of the things you're going to focus on. I think that's one of the reasons why this appealed to you.
Sorry, I think we froze up there a little bit, but yeah, I mean, education is definitely a big aspect of how we interact with the market. We've got our rAVe University program, like I think Joe Cornwall, who's out there always doing CTS classes, sort of the connectivity king, and it's been something that we've always offered for free to, make sure that our customers are getting the CTS credits they need and the information that they need to keep up with their, keep up with trends. And so, yeah, it was a good opportunity for us to, add another avenue for getting that out there. And, we definitely want to hear the big questions, like what are the things people want to learn about, whether it's, technology specific and, it has to do with new trends or supply chain problems, as they are coming up these days, or, design thinking is another one of those areas that there's several people from our organization have worked on different courses for Avixa and other areas. I think they've come on with you all on rAVe and done some training. So that's another area we can dip into. But we want to know what you want to know, and we'll try to accommodate.
So there, Karen is reaching out and saying, what do you want Legrand to help educate you on, or what do you want to know? So starting next week, they're going to have a regular segment on rAVe TV, and sometimes it'll be product, sometimes it'll be technology, sometimes it'll be educationally focused. But we need to know from you what you want to hear about. Do you want to hear about connectivity issues? Do you want to hear about technical support issues? Do you want to hear about sales support? Do you want to hear about new products, new technology? What do you want to hear about? Education, thought leadership, any of that kind of stuff. Give us feedback. Drop a message in the chat or in the comment section of any of the platforms that we're coming to you live on, or just send me an email directly, Gary@rAVeagency.com, Steph@rAVeagency.com. We will get that information over to the team at Legrand. I want to thank you, Karen, for your support of rAVe TV. We're excited to be doing this with you at InfoComm as well, and I'm sure we'll drop by at CEDIA as well. And thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Thank you. And of course, this is live. Well, we had that little glitch with the video, but Steph, this is live. Talk about CEDIA.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we'll just kind of go through the news real quick here. So CEDIA is kicking off its 2021 Expo with an education conference. And this is just kind of like, we all know CEDIA, we all know what CEDIA is, but it's going to look probably a little bit different this year just because we're coming out of the pandemic and we're kind of trying to figure out how things are working with these first few trade shows. But this kind of education conference, it's kind of just offering a wide range of education topics and figuring out what education people care about, what integrators need to take their careers to the next level. So I thought it was really interesting. Just because like education is a big part of CEDIA, and that's something that organization has always really cared about. So I thought that
they're going to have over 100 classes. They're going to have over 100 classes at this year's CEDIA, which that I believe that's more than the number of live classes they're going to have at InfoComm. I could be wrong there. We'll double check that.
I can't remember.
But they're really pushing live education.
Yeah, and exhibitor wise, they're having like 300 at CEDIA this year.
Yeah, we're excited.
Which in normal times that doesn't feel big, but like coming out of a pandemic where like all shows were so pared down, that feels big, Yeah,
we are actually sending our largest team to CEDIA ever because we have a different partnership with CEDIA than we've ever had. So we're gonna have over 15 people covering the show. We're gonna do some unique stuff there at CEDIA, But what do you think of my InfoComm column? I'm doing that series of what to expect at InfoComm, and it's targeted to integrators and manufacturers. What did you think of it, Steph?
I thought that you had a lot of really good points. I definitely agree. Like things are definitely going to be different this year, but maybe keeping end users out is not going to last for a very long time or be something that is smart like always. So I definitely agree that like moving forward, we should really try to include more end users in more shows instead of just having it always be like, oh, well, this is for AV insiders. This is for AV insiders. Like, I don't understand why end users aren't AV insiders because they have to use the stuff. So like,
yeah. And my point on that column was that this is going to be the year that end users aren't going to go to InfoComm. There's going to be some end users, but the number's not going to be 30%. In past years, it's been about 30%. It's going to be probably 5%, maybe 10% end users. So this will be an AV insiders show this year. And my first, I'm going to do a series on these. And this one was kind of mostly targeted to manufacturers. I'm getting a lot of questions from manufacturers of how many people do I think is going to be there at the show and what should they do in their booths. And my answer to them is keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate your booth this year. Do not expect people to spend a lot of time in your booths as they have in the past. Do not expect people to be spending as much time looking at new products. So keep it simple is my first message. And I'm going to justify why I say all this, and I'm going to give you some other ideas as we move through the next 10 weeks until 11 weeks till we get to InfoComm, because we're a little bit under 100 days from being there. So you can read that article at rAVepubs.com.
Yes. We're doing something new at InfoComm this year too. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I'll give a little hint. We're going to do something.
A little something.
Yep, we are going to patent something with another big brand. We are partnering with a big brand that exhibits regularly at InfoComm, and we have a patent pending on a new technology and a new way to cover the show. So I don't want to give it away yet, but I'm going to tell you that one thing that we are going to do that I'll tell you is that instead of doing the game just at the show, we have decided to make the game 6 weeks long. So we're going to do something really kind of cool leading up to the show. We're going to do some really fun things. We will announce it in late August, how you can enter, how you can get your t-shirts. We're going to give away t-shirts. We're going to give away other prizes. We're going to be doing it live, and we're also going to be doing it online. So we're going to be lots of opportunities. We're going to do rAVe TV live a bunch during this period of time. I don't want to give away the technology and how we're going to do it because it is quite unique. No one else has anything like what we're going to do. And we don't want anybody else to be able to copy it, quite honestly, or try to copy it, even though we're patenting it. We think it's that good. But it's going to make it a lot better for you. For those of you who can't go to the show, you're going to love this because we're going to bring you an inordinate amount of unique coverage. But those of you who are at the show, you're really going to love this because we're going to do something kind of cool there at the show as well. So, Steph, that's about all the hint I can give you for now.
That's true. And I did want to mention that I am officially all signed up, all paid for to take the CTS test at InfoComm. I'm taking it October 26th at 11 a.m., I think, or 8 a.m. I can't remember. But so this is this is your warning now. Like, please, if you want to take the test or if you're planning on taking it, go ahead and sign up and take it with me at InfoComm because there are limited spots. They only are offering, I think, like 5 different testing times throughout like 3 days. So do make sure to go ahead. First, you have to apply on Avixa's website to make sure that you're eligible to even take the test. So go do that on Avixa's website. I got my approval back in like an hour, so it doesn't take long. And then you click on another link and that lets you register to take the test through Pearson VUE at InfoComm. So I hope to see a lot of you there taking it with me. I hope we're all going to pass. I hope we are all wearing our Study with Steph t-shirts. And that's all I have to say about that. I'm scared, but it's fine. The fact that you were like, oh yeah, we're 100 days away. I was like, oh my God.
Now you got 100. I think it's 93 officially, but not to scare you.
Oh my God. That makes my heart beating so fast.
Speaking of numbers, Speaking of numbers,
of numbers,
we don't have very many public companies in our industry, but Barco is one of those companies. So that it's good to look at what companies are saying about their earnings because it gives us an indicator of the industry. And Barco had a really good year, 460 million Q1 and Q2 combined in the U.S. Equivalent because they're in euro. That's about 40 million behind 2019, but significantly ahead 2020. So that means the market's starting to come back. We're not too far away from where they want to be. They did something really kind of cool, Steph. We got stories on their earnings. And we also have, if you just go to ravepubs.com and Google Barco, you'll also see they have 2 new CEOs. They have co-CEOs, a gentleman and a female, and a lady. And the 2 of them are going to run Barco together starting September 1st. We will have an exclusive live interview with them in September. But Barco is a good bellwether for the industry, and I thought publishing that was a good idea.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's good and it's uplifting to see that companies are coming out of this kind of like really strong in a way. So yeah. Cheers to Barco. I'm glad to see they're doing good.
And Barco's a bellwether for the industry. I mean, they do, the click share is the kind of standard for wireless sharing. And of course, they have a lot of high-end projectors. They're not a low-end projector company; they're a high-end projector company. So it kind of indicates that segment of the market is doing really well. So what's our next story, Steph?
So let's just kind of end on some acquisition news. I know that you and I love talking about this. I emailed this story to you like at night, one night when I saw it came out. But yeah, Zoom Video has acquired Five9 as like a customer engagement expansion. What is it called? Like their Zoom, it's supposed to be an extension of like their Zoom phone or whatever it's called. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Give them cloud
Zoom
support.
Phone.
Yeah, more cloud support
for its Zoom phone offering.
Yeah, and that's all cloud-based, right? Everything that Zoom does is cloud-based, so they need more cloud support. But that's also gives them a bunch of new people. One of the hardest things when you're growing as fast as a company like them is hiring new people, because you're having to hire 20, 30, 40 people in a department a week. And just to interview all those people takes a long time, and you can't just do it through HR. So by acquiring Five9, they acquired a bunch of people too.
Yeah, and I think that everyone at Five9, I hope they all get to keep their job. I know the CEO of Five9 is now going to be like a president in Zoom who will like report to Eric. So it's looking like they really prioritize making sure everyone like stays in their roles as well. So, hey, more power to them. Zoom has become like, I can't think of another company that the pandemic like made more powerful. Like Zoom's the one.
That's a really good comment. That's very very
I
logical.
can't think of because when like before the pandemic, I'd be like, if I was video calling someone, I'd be like, oh, I'll Skype you. I haven't said the word Skype since COVID-19.
Right.
Now it's like, I'll Zoom you. I'll create a Zoom.
Yeah, Madeline here at rAVe calls them the Kleenex of AV because everyone calls it tissue paper Kleenex.
Even if you're using because that's you use it as a verb now.
Yeah,
that's so insane.
And in the same week, we had another acquisition where Savant bought RacePoint Energy, which gets them into a big segment of the market. Look, let's be honest. As more people have lived at home and gone through these storms, literally and figuratively, they realized that, hey, I need to make sure that if I'm at home, I have power and I have internet access. So buying RacePoint was a good move by Savant because that gives them access to that. Yeah,
agreed.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
good move.
I'm glad to see that all of these things are going on in the industry. Acquisitions can be really bad, but they also can be really good if it's a company that's like going to somehow still be valuable in the bigger company that it's bought out. It's not just like a company buying out its competition, that's buying out a company that like will become a part and really help both companies moving forward. So I think that these are both positive changes, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens.
Agreed.
All right. Well, I think that is our news for the day. Very good show. I'm really excited about our partnership with Legrand. I'm excited about all of it. It's been great.
Yeah, it's been a great week. A lot of stuff going on. Next week we'll announce our other partner. For now,
study with Steph. Is that what you're trying to say?
Study with Steph. You only got a few more weeks. You got 8-9 more weeks to study. But Steph, you better start studying too.
Throw up. I have. I'm working on it. All right. Well, anyways, on that note, study with Steph. Go to rAVe and you can sign up to get email reminders of when I release new episodes. I'm going to get back on to releasing new episodes and continuing to study. And that's our show. We'll see you next Wednesday at noon Eastern. Bye.
It's the weekly show about Pro AV with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's rAVe TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary. Steph and Gary.